Mobility family, I'm Kelly Manzone. Thank you for joining me today. For today's class, we're still focusing on stretching and strength in the half kneeling and kneeling positions. You're going to need your stick mobility bundle, which is one short stick and two of your long sticks. And if you don't own stick mobility, that's okay. You could use whatever you have access to. We're also going to be needing either a pillow or a pad or towel for the knee down positions, and a short bench because we'll be doing a hip flexor stretch that requires the foot to be elevated. We're going to start with our warm-up with our short stick. I'm going to go on a diagonal here, and we're going to get into a little bit of a spinal wave, a full body kind of mobilization. So you're going to start with the stick right at chest height, and I want you to crush the stick. So you're going to push in with both hands. You're going to hip hinge forward, soft knees, send that tailbone back, and then another inhale and exhale. As you come up, you're going to push down into the feet, squeeze the glutes, pull apart on the stick, lean back, and then inhale, exhale, repeat that pattern. So we're going to do a few here just to kind of set the tone for class. Again, remember, pull apart, and I never want you to work into pain. So please be mindful of all the positions that you're in today, and if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly or stick mobility. So we're going to do two more here. Hip hinge forward, sweep the arms forward, lean back, pull apart on the stick, inhale, exhale, and again sweep the arms, come up, lean back, and come center. So I'm going to face you head on here in the horse stance. So we have soft knees, neutral pelvis. We're going to take the stick and take it down to the side. So similar to our bow and arrow here. So I'm going to push my left hip towards the wall and stretch. So I'm pulling down with this right arm. Coming through center, pull apart, that left arm pressing down. And as we come up, we're going to mobilize our shoulders here. So we're going to begin with the stick right behind the shoulders, and you're going to slide over to the right. Left arm comes up, so the camera flips me. Even though this is my right arm on top, I'm going to say it's my left. And then we're going to circle down and around. Now the right arm comes up and over, and then we pass through center to the left arm. So we're going to circle in one direction for a few, and then we're going to change direction. Let's do two more here. A little bit of tension on the stick. And now we're going to change direction. So we're pulling and pushing over to that left side. Excellent. Right over. Good. Let's do three more here. One. Taking that left arm up. Two. One more. Three, come forward, shoulder dislocates. So you're holding wide on the stick, all fingers staying in contact. In that horse stance, the rib cage is going to be drawn in, so you're not splaying the rib cage or going into an anterior pelvic tilt. Your chin is neutral. So we pull apart on the stick, activate that posterior line. Take the arms up overhead, only go to where you are personally comfortable. Then as you come forward, you push into the stick. Again, pull apart, draw the arms back to where you can comfortably, and then take it forward. So you're focusing on your breath. I say in most classes, I like to do diaphragmatic breathing. So that's where your mouth is closed, the tongue is resting on the roof of your mouth, and you perform nasal breathing throughout the exercise. You could do that, or you could inhale and exhale through the nose and then the mouth. Up to you. So we have two more here. And you'll notice as you go through this set, you might be able to go a little bit further back, keeping the shoulders down and back as you come forward, and gently release. Getting into a nice T-spine stretch. So we're going to take our short stick, chest height, push into each corner of the stick, and now we're going to rotate to our left. And then this right shoulder, I want you to do a little dip of that right shoulder towards the right foot. Then come upright, through center. So I'm going over to the right. Hips are going to continue to face forward, and then a little lean away, dipping that left shoulder towards the left foot. Let's do one more on each side. Coming across, trying to keep those hips as square as possible. Little dip, think of lifting up and out of the rib cage. Good. So we're getting a little bit of work into that front line here, into the pec as we dip and working into the ribs. Good. And gently come through center. Taking our short stick to the ground, we're going to go over to one long stick. Working into the feet for a moment because we are going to be anchoring with the ball of the foot and then also in positions where the top of the foot is down. I'm going to go on a diagonal here, my outside foot, so you can follow along. This is going to be your left, and you're just going to lift and lower the heel while you're in that horse stance. Really spread the toes. We're just warming up the fascia in our feet, and you're driving down into the floor with maybe about 20-30% tension. And then switch over to the other side. Again, spread out the toes, take your time, really working into the fascia in the foot, warming up the ankle. Let's go for 3 more here, and then we're gonna go top of the foot down, which is an excellent stretch for the ankle. So I'm gonna narrow my stance here, and I'm gonna take the top of my left foot down. Take your hand to your hip line, slightly scoop under, soften that inside knee, proud chest, and I'm gonna just put a little bit of pressure into the top of that foot. Breathing. This feels amazing. We don't do this position enough. Come out of it, take a moment, roll it out. Let's do one more. Top of the foot down, scoop, tailbone under, proud chest. You're driving down into the floor with the stick for a little bit of stability. Hold here for a moment and breathe. Excellent. Release. Again, shake it out. Other side. So the top of the right foot is going down. Square off. Watch that position. Hold. One side may feel tighter than the other. I do a lot of rowing and kettlebell sport, so this is something that really feels good for me. Hold, take a moment. When you come out of it, roll out the ankle. Let's go back into it once again. Soft knee, proud chest. Watch your alignment. Breathe into the stretch. Hold here for another breath or 2. And then slowly come out of it, shake it out. Going into our bow and arrow so we could kind of free up our lateral lines as we work into our hips in a moment. So I usually do the bow and arrow in a wider stance, but for today, I want you to take your feet right below your hip line. Take your stick further out, maybe about a foot out from the right foot, midline of the foot. Bottom hand is going to be right at the hip line, and then top left hand, thumb is going to face down with the palm forward. Now we're going to send our hips out first, and at any time if this is too far away from your body, you could inch the stick in closer towards the midline of your right foot. So we're driving down into the floor with our feet and into the floor with a stick. Send your hips out to your left and then follow through with that upper body. So I want you to avoid hinging forward. Keep that tailbone under. Grip the ground again with those feet. Breathing. Now if you want a little front line, you're going to angle and look upward towards the ceiling. Slowly come out of it. Take another breath. Inhale. Begin that exhale. Start to press out into your bow and arrow. And then angle, look upward towards the ceiling. And slowly release. Going over to our other side. To the left, hand at that hip line. Right hand, palm facing forward, thumb down. Hips first, upper body second. So you may find that one side feels a little more restricted than the other. For this one's a little bit more challenging for me. Your inside shoulder stays down away from your ear, and then again, you're gonna angle and look upward towards the ceiling. Slowly come out of it. Take another breath. Inhale, exhale, press the hips out. Follow through with your upper body. Breathe into the stretch. Hold here. And then slowly come out of it. So we have one more stretch before we need our pad or pillow for your knee. We're going to take our right leg forward. The left leg is going to go into a staggered split stance here. And I want you to elongate that back leg if you can. Stick is in the left hand and placed about midline of that front foot. Now we're taking the right arm forward. Want to square off, squeeze your back glute, and then take your tailbone. Watch that position. Eyes leading the head. We're going to inhale, exhale, rotate. Go to where you can comfortably. And then slowly come back through center. We're going to do 3 more here. Inhale, exhale, maintain that alignment. Slowly through center. Again, I'm driving down into the floor with a stick, maybe about 30-40%, so you could keep that position. We got 2 more, I believe. I may have done an extra one, but that's okay. 1 more here. Inhale, exhale, reach, and then come through center. Beautiful. So now our left leg is going to be forward, the right leg is back. Find your setup. So we want to maintain that position of the hip line on that rotation. We don't want to have our hips sink out to the side. Really grip the ground with your front foot. Anchor with the ball of the back foot. So you're feeling, if you can, be barefoot. So you could really grab the mat or the ground below you. And then the left arm is forward. Inhale, exhale, rotate. Come back through center. We got 4 more. Breathe. Ease into it. Good. There it is. 2 more here. Really reach. So work that stability of that front leg and back leg. Rotate. Come through center and gently release. Shake your legs out. Grab your pad, pillow, or towel, and we're going to kneel on it with the right knee. The left leg is going to be forward. Your choice. You could go top of the foot down, or you could anchor with the ball of your foot. So you could dorsiflex or plantar flex, whichever works best for you. You're going to take your sticks forward. Palms, like maybe right in line with the shoulders or slightly lower. Want you to take a moment, wiggle that back knee back. And again, pick if you're going to go top of the foot down or anchor with the ball of the foot. From here, take a moment, squeeze into that back right glute, and then driving down into the floor, I want you to come forward and then pull back. Come forward. Breathe, inhale, exhale, pull back. Let's take the hands up a little bit higher this time because we're going to add on. Hinge forward, get a little work into the lats, come back. Good. Again, breathe, inhale, and exhale. Now this time as we come back, I want you to go into a little bit of a bridge position here. So we're lifting up and out of the lower back, opening through the chest, and then inhale, exhale, come forward, pull back, squeeze that right glute, and open. So right here, I'm driving down into the floor with the sticks. Make sure you're not throwing your head back. You're just looking up on that diagonal, and gently release. Slide your back foot in, come to stand, and then we're going to transition to the other side. So left leg, it's back. Right leg forward. First beginning with the arms around shoulder height. Squeeze that back glute, and again, come forward a little bit. Pull back. So you may find that one side is a little more giving than the other. One more, and then we're gonna take our hands, slide them up a little bit. So we're still driving down into the floor with the sticks. Pull back, little chest opener here. Take a breath, hinge forward once again. Slowly pull back, drive down into the sticks. Look up on a diagonal, watch that hip line, and gently come back through center. Take a moment, one stick down to the ground. So at the end of class, we're gonna have an isometric hold with our Guitar Hero, but as part of our warm-up here and getting into our strength portion, we're gonna go into our Guitar Hero position with a single stick standing upright. So I want you to take your right leg out to the side in line with the hip. Toes facing directly out. Back, left side, you're gonna anchor with the ball of your foot, drive down into the floor, lift out of that knee, squeeze the glute. Taking the stick right around the big toe or in front of the arch and hold up high enough where you're able to square off and still have tension down into the floor. Now, we're gonna take a breath and then inhale, exhale, bend into that right side, opening up that hip. And then slowly come out of it. Squeeze that glute, hips forward, work right into that bend, getting into the foot ankle complex once again with this exercise, and pull back. Let's do this 2 more times before we transition. Bend into that knee. So you want to make sure your knee's not wobbling or caving inward. Good. Let's do one more. Keep that tension. Breathe. Upright the chest. Hold 4 counts. 1, 2, 3. On 4. Slowly come out of it. Take the stick into the other hand. Take a moment to square off. Come to stand and shake your legs out. So that can be quite intense sometimes. Right knee down to the ground. We're going to kickstand that left leg out to the side. So again, when you're going into your position, make sure the knee's not collapsing. Toes, again, facing out to the side on that frontal plane. Stick near the big toe, just about, and then take that right side, squeeze the glute, proud chest, hand, find a position where you could keep your neck relaxed, shoulder relaxed, and you're going to drive down, activate that inside lat, and then bend into that left knee. Breathe. Gently pull back. Again. Excellent. So I did the straddle position with stick mobility before class, and I could definitely feel this right now. It's a good one. Let's do one more. Keep that tension. Go into that stretch, work into that foot ankle complex. Breathe. 4 counts. Hold 1, 2, 3, and on 4, slowly come out of it. Take a moment, square off, and come to stand. Grab a sip of water, and we need that low bench. We're going to go into our hip flexor stretch. Then we're going to go into a kneeling position on the ground, going into some hip flexion. And that one has a great stability and strength challenge. So taking both of your sticks, I'm going to go on a diagonal here just a little bit. And let's take our right knee to the ground with the top of the right foot on our bench. So before we even start, I just want you to make sure that you have your position. The left leg is forward. Now, I don't want you to kind of force the heel into your seat here. Just ease into this stretch, upright the torso, take both sticks in line with the hips or just about in line with the hips, Hold up high enough where your neck is nice and relaxed. You're gonna get a little traction with that upper body. And now I'm gonna squeeze that right glute, setting that hip forward. Gonna lean back just slightly with my upper body. Breathe. Now I want you to push down into the sticks. Add just a little bit of rotation inward towards your right. Hold here for a breath or two. Good. And then come through center. And now go inward a little bit. That right arm could cross over the midline of the body. Hold. And once again, open. Now that left arm could come across the midline. You have a little bit more rotation. Watch the alignment with your hips here, so you're not sinking the hips out to the side. And then come inward. You still have that tension in the right glute. And as we come back through center, hold. You could also do bow and arrow in this half kneeling position with the foot elevated. That's quite intense. We're going to do that next week. And then take a moment, sticks forward, drive down into the floor, slide that front foot in, come to stand. Now, before we go to the other side, we're just going to take our sticks in front, kind of march in place just to give a little bit of active recovery. So you're going to angle the sticks inward towards you. They're at about 11 or 1 o'clock. Take a moment, drive down into the floor. You should feel the trunk of your body activate, and then we're going to march in place. Inhale and exhale. Draw that knee right up into the chest. Flex the foot. Good. Let's go for 6 more here. 1, 2, up 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to switch. So move your pad if needed. And then we're going to take the top of the left foot down to the ground. Or top of the, foot to our bench, knee to the ground. Take the sticks right in line with your hips or slightly forward of your hip line. And just hold the position at first. So I could tell this left side is a little bit more restricted than the right. Want you to, again, breathe into the stretch. So when your arms are up high here, keep the neck relaxed. Squeeze that back left glute. Keep thinking of lifting up and out of the hip line, up and out of the ribs. And then add just a little bit of rotation inward at first. Then we're going to go outward. Good. Now, when you go inward, you could have that top left arm cross that midline, but keep the alignment with your hips. Focus on your breathing. Come through center. Again, you're driving down into the sticks, about 30% tension. That right arm could come across just a little bit there. Hold. Keep squeezing that back left glute. And then slowly come back through center. Slide your right foot in. Come to stand. Shake it out. We're going to march once again. I'm just going to get this short bench out of the way. So second set of marching in place before we take it to the ground for our hip flexion drill. So arms in front, angle the bottom sticks inward. You're stepping in. Sticks are at about 11 or 1 o'clock. Shoulders down and back. Activate those lats. Trunk of the body on. Inhale, exhale. Now this marching drill is fantastic. You could also use this, the sticks paired with a resistance band wrapped around the arch of the feet to add a little bit more tension. You could also do a slower, more isometric kettlebell variation of the flexion of the hip, which I've done in previous classes. Those are great too. Let's do 6 more here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excellent. Taking it back down to our half kneeling position. We'll break this up with a short spurt of core work after. So I'm going to go on profile here. in the kneeling position. Taking the sticks, gonna angle the, I'll face you head on. Angle the sticks inward towards you, pack the shoulders, engage the lats. Let's go top of the feet down. Now, I'm going to lift and elevate that right hip and flex and hold. Breathe. We have a 3 count hold. Hold 1, hold 2, hold 3. And then slowly lower to the other side. So we're gonna now work into the left. Pick your position with that upper body. If you have to widen your window or narrow your window, top of the foot down. Engage the core, begin to elevate the knee. This side's a lot harder for me. Flex, breathe, 3 counts. Hold 1, hold 2, hold 3, and return. Okay, now on the next one, we're gonna anchor with the ball of the foot. So we're going back over to elevating the right knee. So I know I'm using my left, I'm just gonna call it my right because this is my outside knee at the moment. So take a moment, anchor, drive down into the floor, breathe. Elevate, hold here. Now extend. Stay with it, 3 counts. Hold 1, hold 2, hold 3, step the foot down. We're gonna do that again. Take a moment, drive down into the floor, elevate, hold, extend, find a focal point, 3 counts, hold 1, hold 2, hold 3, rebend, place the foot down. Quite challenging. So we have one more on this side, then we'll switch. Pack the shoulders, take the tailbone under, find your focal point, calm neck, right? So don't tense up the shoulders to compensate. Drive down into the floor. Elevate the knee, breathe, hold. Stay connected, find that focal point, push forward through that heel, hold 3 counts, hold 1, hold 2, hold 3, and release. Woo, that'll make you sweat. Okay, other side. So something to be mindful of as you're extending, right? If you need to modify, you can just keep the knee bent. Want you to watch that hip line. So again, as you fatigue, try to stay nice and centered. If you have to go for a shorter hold, you could do so. Okay, driving down into the sticks, take the other leg forward, activate your core, push down into the floor, elevate the knee. Stay nice and steady, push through the heel, hold. 3 counts, hold 1, 2, 3. Rebend, place the foot to the floor. 2 more to go. Watch that hip line. Push down into the sticks, bend, hold. Lengthen, breathe. Hold 1, hold 2, hold 3, rebend the knee, place it down. Woo, okay, one more. Proud chest, elevate the knee. Find your focal point, push through that heel, hold 1, hold 2, hold 3, rebend, flatten the foot, come to stand, shake those legs out. Nice work. Okay. Take your short sticks to the ground for a moment, or long sticks, excuse me, and grab your short stick. Going into straight leg dead bugs. I do these often in class because they feel so good. So we're going to use this as our transition into our stretching portion. Take a moment for your setup. If you have really restricted hamstrings, You could do the bent knee variation of the dead bugs. I'll demonstrate here. So knees are in line with the hips, feet flexed, slight tip up of that tailbone so you're nice and connected. Head could be up or down. Lengthen the leg, inhale, exhale, take it back up, lower, and right back in. Keeping that tension between the stick and the thigh. I'm going to do straight leg variation, get a little work into those hamstrings. So, take one leg up, followed by the other. Stick placed mid-thigh or lower thigh near the knee. Head could be up or down. Slight tip up, lengthen, inhale, exhale, take the leg back up. Nice flex foot. Could also do this with a very thin band to add a little bit more feedback and tension. Good. Stay with it. 3 more on each side. Lower, right back up to start. Breathe. Keep connected. Good. 2 more on each side. Excellent. Nice and slow and controlled. 1 more each side. Foot stays flexed. Last one here. Take it right back up. Release. Soften the knees. Take the knees over to one direction. Eyes in the opposite. And then switch. Look in the opposite direction. 1 more time. Knees. Breathe. Stay with it. Good. Okay. Slowly take the stick to your side. And now we're going to need the pad to kneel on once again. We're going to go into 3 stretches. The first one now is the Guitar Hero. Instead of going in and out of it like we did earlier, we're going to go for more of a static hold. Stick in the left hand. I'm going to kickstand that right foot out. On this one here, and I'm going to, instead of squaring that back foot off, I'm going to kickstand or windshield wiper that back foot inward. And I'm going to anchor with the ball of that foot. Knee out to the side. Remember, we want to avoid that knee collapsing inward. Take the stick, palm up. I'm going to kind of, what I notice sometimes with Guitar Hero is people tend to lean the torso. Try, if you can, to keep the torso nice and centered. You're going to take a breath, inhale, then exhale, press down into the stick, squeezing that hip and sending it forward. And I'm anchoring with that top arm. Pack that shoulder, engage that lat, breathe. Hold 4 more counts. Hold 1, 2, 3. On 4, come out of it. Take a moment. We're going to go right back into it. Stay nice and upright with the chest. Take a deep breath in. Inhale, exhale. Drive down with that left arm. Squeeze. Now, I'm going to have you bend a little bit more into that right side. I'm still squeezing that back left glute, sending the hip forward. And release. Take a moment. Come to stand and shake it out. Hips should feel alive today. So, transitioning, you could swap out the knee pad. Going left leg out to the side. Take that tailbone under. Windshield wiper your foot slightly. Upright. Left hand, palm facing up. And then take a breath. Drive down. So we're pushing that left knee out, squeezing that right glute, sending the hip forward. Chest upright. Stay with it. Breathe, breathe, and slowly come out of it. Take a moment, move the hips around. Now we're going to go a little bit deeper into this stretch. So, drive down across, upright, squeeze the glute, Begin that bend into the left knee. Good. 4 counts are still. Hold 1, 2, 3. On 4, release. Take a second, square off, come to stand. We will be finishing class with snake reach, but the next few exercises we're going to do standing. So, taking the stick right to the lower back with the palms facing forward. Going to have your heel toe out a little bit wider than hip width. Take a moment to slowly hip hinge forward. Knees are unlocked. We're going to take this right side as far over as possible to the left. Hips are essentially staying still. From here, we're going to do a few neck articulations. So we're looking upward towards the ceiling and then slowly downward towards the floor. Again, upward towards the ceiling, then downward towards the floor. Ungrip from the ground. Take a moment, come to stand. Make sure you're breathing so you don't get dizzy. Hip hinge forward, soft knees, left side. Hooks across to where you can comfortably to the right. Hips essentially staying still, knees unlocked. And then going into those neck articulations. Look upward towards the ceiling and then downward towards the floor. Release, upright, heel toe out a little bit wider. Hip hinge forward, soft knee, right to left, and then bend into that right knee. Instead of going forward with the body weight into the ball of the foot, pull the body weight back. And again, little articulation, looking upward, looking downward. One more. Very nice. Good. Soften both knees. Come across. Bend now into that left side. Grip the ground with the feet, pull apart. And again, we're angling to look upward towards the ceiling, downward towards the floor. 2 more times. Just unwinding now. Good. And release. Soften into both knees. Come center. Upright. Heel, toe in. Gonna take our stick and we're gonna use now that bench that we had for our knee down lunge that we did earlier, and we're going into a bow and arrow variation, stretching out the hip line and the hamstring. So I'm going to take my right foot to the bench. Left foot is going to be slightly turned out or facing forward. I like to take mine slightly, angle it out. Upright. Stick now is actually going to the inside of that right thigh. Bottom hand still around that hip line, left hand here. I'm going to lead with the hips and then follow through with that upper body, keeping that foot flexed. So you could get more of a stretch if the right heel is up higher into the hamstring, but right now I'm getting an excellent stretch through the waist. Tailbone is under, and again, neck is relaxed. No tension in that bottom shoulder. Breathe. Slowly come out of it. Take a breath. Maybe you wiggle out a little bit further. Take the hips out, then follow through with the upper body. Hold here. We're still 4 counts. Hold 1, 2, 3. On 4, gently release. Now we're going to take it other side. Okay, so left heel is on. Find that position. Upright your torso. Stick to the inside. You remember, like, you have to spin your stick, because mine are, gosh, they have to be about 6 years old, so they've had a lot of use. Some of them are starting to have a little bend in them. Hold here, tailbone under. Again, look upward towards the ceiling, drop that inside shoulder. So you want to keep that foot flexed. So think of pressing down through the heel and toes pointing upward towards the ceiling. Slowly come out of it. Take another breath. Hips out. Upper body. Take the tailbone under. Drop that inside shoulder. Breathe. Hold here 4 counts. Stay with it. And then slowly release. Okay, we're going to come down for our last stretch, snake reach. So if you need that pad, grab it now. We're going to take our right leg forward, left knee down to the ground. We're in that half kneeling. Stick is going to be inside of that right thigh. Now the left hand, if you need to modify, you're going to have a bit of a bend in the elbow and the forearm will be low. If you have a lot of flexibility and mobility and you're comfortable with this and you've done it before, you could have the arm up higher. You're going to take your right arm out to the side, and there's a gap between the shirt, your shirt and chest and the stick. And you're simply going to thread that arm through, grab hold, slide the bottom of the stick slightly out, squeeze that back left glute and wrap inward towards your right. Hold. So you're going to get all into that shoulder girdle, down into the waist. Slowly come out of it, and then inhale, exhale, rotate back into it. Now you should be pretty loose after a lot of the half kneeling positions that we've done. This should feel pretty good. Hold for another breath. And then we're slowly going to open into that side and release. Take a moment, roll out the shoulder, transitioning. Left leg forward, right leg back. You have the same setup. And then you're going to thread the left arm through, wrap the waist. Hold here. Excellent. Now we're going to open out. I'm going to go a little bit higher with that arm. Get a deeper stretch. Good. Look over that shoulder. Stay with it. 4 counts here. Good. And now we're slowly going to release and come to stand. So that was today's class. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, I'm Kelly Manzone. You could find me on Instagram at kelsbells88. I'm always open to feedback, so you could reach out to me directly or to Stick Mobility. This class is going to be uploaded to the YouTube channel later today, where there's over 350 classes up there, along with episodes of the Movement Made Better podcast. Neil and Dennis have amazing guests on. And then there is a whole series, various libraries of stick mobility drills that you could utilize in your own practice. I will see you next week. Take care.